Sorry, we're answering more than one question at once. I don't think... I don't want to give anything away, that's Don't answer it. I've been told not to answer it. I'm sorry. This is the final chapter.
Oh, you can answer that, can't you?
I think it... No! But we have been answering all afternoon.
After secrecy has become absurd.
Yeah. It's not the end of the fall, necessarily. Not at all, no.
It's not?
Would you two be happy to come back?
It's going to be a completely different show with different actors.
Oh, right.
It's going to be Aisling B, Berlin Kane, Aisling Frank Pearson, and it's just going to be...
Question over there, please.
Good evening. I just want to say thank you for a fantastic 3 series so far. And because of you guys, there's some girls over there, hello, that we all got together because we just absolutely adore the fall. But I wanted to ask Jamie, and probably Alan as well, what, in his audition, he states he went for the role of the police officer. What did he do in that audition to make you think, yeah, we've got a serial killer here? So what did Jamie do, and what do you think he did that made
I'm as intrigued as anyone else.
I'd met Jamie, and I knew he was from that part of the world, so I thought it'd be a really good idea to get him in, and so we brought him in, as you rightly say, for the part of Olsen, which I didn't think he was right for when I was watching him do it, but we put him on tape for that, but when I looked at him on tape, I thought he had something extraordinary on camera, and I was pretty convinced straight away that we'd found our Spectre. I said so to all my colleagues, the Gub and Neil and everyone I was working with at the time. And so the suggestion was, I know Stephen Wright said, well look, you're going to need more than him auditioning for the wrong part to present to Ben Stevenson at the point where we suggest that this is our piece of casting. So we dragged Jamie back from LA, and jet lag made him read for Spectre. I didn't need to do that, but it was felt that it should be done. And there was still, debate going on because he hadn't done a massive amount, and there were other names being floating around. But I was absolutely convinced that we found our Spectre, and I got very vociferous about it, essentially saying if it's not Jamie, then we don't have anyone, we don't have a show. But I sent the audition tape to. I sent the tape to Gillian. Said I think we found our Spectre, and she emailed me back saying, "Hooray, we absolutely have." So that was a very useful part of my argument to get Jamie into it.
I think I am flattered by it.
It's just I knew that whoever I cast was going to have to spend 50% of the screen time alongside Gillian Anderson. So I knew it had to be someone who the camera really liked, and who had an emotional depth, an intelligence in their eyes, an emotional quality, and so I thought Jamie had all of that. But it was, we went into it, as you do into the beginning of a new drama, pretty unsure what we were putting together, and it's a voyage of discovery. Not now, because he knows who Spectre is and he plays Spectre, he is Spectre, so again, it's just like a natural fit. But it was just seeing him on camera. I've had this experience before. There have been people. I watched an audition tape of Michael Fassbender when he was up for something I was doing, and as soon as I saw him on camera, I said, this guy's got something really special. Who is this guy? Then I really liked him, and we cast him. But if you've got an experienced guy and you know what you're looking at in terms of acting, then like with Gillian seeing the tape of Jamie, you can look at people and go, yeah, they're really, really good. Sometimes you make mistakes, but drama often stands and falls on the nature of your casting, and the new casting for Series 3 is really exciting. And we brought in some fantastic people, one of them sitting here today, who is a stunning actress, not known primarily as an actress either, so I'm very excited about that. But yeah, you just have to have an eye for what works on screen, and it comes from experience, I think, probably. And on stage too.
So a question here.
Some people have it.
They're both right.
Yeah.
This question is for Gillian. I was just wondering, what's the best advice you can give to young actors when facing rejection? I don't really like that word, but also thank you for portraying such an amazing, strong character, and thank you, Alan, for writing such an amazing, strong character.
Thank you.
I guess just perseverance, really, and to not take rejection personally. Sometimes rejection can be a gift, and as long as you show up and you feel like that you know that you've done the best that you've done at an audition or whatever it is, and couldn't have given any more, then you'll walk away feeling like, I've left auditions feeling that I sucked, and I've left auditions for things that I really wanted and felt like I did okay. But I didn't actually necessarily need to have it because I knew that I did okay in the room and it wasn't up to me.
Someone else, there's a person at the back.
Hi, Jimmy. At the launch of the first series, you said you couldn't really relate to Spectre because you weren't a murderer, you weren't married, and you didn't have children. No, I presume you're still not a murderer, but you are now married and you have children, so does that change how you feel about him and how you play him?
We were just discussing that, how insane the last 4.5 years have been, and actually the fall kind of marks, it's just been this omnipresent part of the last 4.5 years where personally so much has changed, and professionally so much has changed for me. Yes, I wasn't a father, hadn't killed anyone, I wasn't a husband at the time, although we were engaged just before I got apart. It's funny that we see, I guess we see less of him as a father in this series, I'd say, having children, it's like a reset button. I mean, you're a totally different human being. The fundamentals of your life are instantly altered overnight, all in the most positive way imaginable. I didn't have any of that to draw on with the father aspect of the first series, but there is nothing like love you feel for your children. But I really drew on my niece. I didn't even have a nephew at the time, but the love I had for her, because it was the closest thing and it's the only child that I sort of spent a decent amount of time with. So yeah, and then it's easy enough to portray a husband. I think I've been in a long relationship at that stage anyway, and it's just more of the same, isn't it?
Your children that you face with. When are you going to break it to them? While they'll be born.
I'm not sure there's going to be something so ceremonious.
The facts of life discussion.
Yeah,
luckily it's going to be a long time in the future before he's going to sit them down and run the fall for them, I think.
No, I know. I'll do some stuff that's more family friendly.
A couple of Disney films lined up for the kids to watch. I think this is something that actors do talk about, isn't it? A lot of their work is not really for the consumption of their children.
Yeah.
Woman at the back.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
Hello. I just want to say, because I remember when that Mail article came out, and I thought it was very reductive as well, and I actually think the show's really feminist and it's really wonderfully constructed, so thank you.
No,
but
thank you.
My question is about the relationship with the young girl, Katie.
Mm-hmm.
Did you always know it was going to kind of go in that direction, or did that change as you sort of went along? Because I was quite surprised by that in series 2.
I think I always had the notion that it would develop in that way. I mean, you do try to surprise people, but you want to surprise people in a way that when they are surprised, they then go, oh, hang on a second, I can see how that could work, how that sort of internal logic could work. There's a theme at play about people who are not parented completely at play in the piece, and she's lost her father. Spectre cruelly reminds her of that in the scene in Made in Belfast where they're talking, and he says, well, he's essentially, no, perhaps it's on the strike call, isn't it? I can't remember, in the restaurant, where he essentially says that the world is a terrible place full of death and destruction, and has she forgotten that her own father was decapitated in a car, in a motorcycle accident? And she says, oh, no, I haven't forgotten, in a way that makes it clear that it's an awful thing being said to her. But I've always been fascinated by what Spectre thinks he's doing with her, because she's not actually potentially a victim, really, because he views her as a child, as that scene on the stairs in series 1, where he sort of makes it clear that she's not on his radar as a man at that point, but of course she's not on his radar as a potential victim either. And that's just to do with Spectre's skewed